Woof.
Hello, CQ, calling CQ. This is WA4LLR, Dave in Burnsville, North Carolina, calling CQ, the Old Friends Net. This net meets 3 times weekly, Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 9 a.m., Sunday evenings at 6 p.m. on this frequency, and the net's conducted in the Amplitude Modulation mode and carried on in the roundtable format. This net is a great place to trade gear, look for parts and pieces, especially in the antique or classic radio venue. So, we would love to have you join us today if you can generate an AM signal. So CQ, the Old Friends Net station, wishing to check in, give me a call and come now.
N4LQ.
KZ4B.
KN4R.
Whiskey 4, Italy Tango.
KG4 IUQ.
WB4NKL.
N4IYQ.
K1VVC.
November 4 Alpha Kilo.
WB4ARK.
Dave, I think I doubled with someone. This is dope.
Okay, I think I had a couple doubles. N4LQ, KZ4B. Someone doubled with Brian, and Brian won that one. So, who came after KZ4B and right before W4IT, I believe it was?
Was WF2U, Whiskey Foxtrot 2 Uniform.
Okay, Mir. Okay, that explains it. WF2U. Okay. N4LQ, KZ4B, WF2U, KN4R, W4IT, N4IYQ, WB4NKL. KG4IUQ, WN4, WB4NKL, I can't talk, N4IYQ, K1VVC, N4AK, WB4ARK, WN4PFI. Who did I miss? All right. November 4, Whiskey Delta. Good evening, Bruce. Any more? All right, let me run down it one more time. LQ, 4B, 2U, 4R, IT, IUQ, NKL, IYQ, VVC, AK, ARK, PFI, WD. Any others? Okay, heard a carrier with no audio. Try it again. Alrighty, maybe we'll get you on the next go round. So we'll go ahead and get started. Absolutely gorgeous afternoon up here in Yancey County, North Carolina. We've got 77 degrees, bright blue skies, and a light breeze. So, man, what a comparison between the last 3 days when we had quite a bit of rain and tremendous wind. We have had some bodacious wind up here, about 40 miles an hour. So, running the BC610C today and receiving on the HQ150. So we'll go ahead and get started. Steve, down to you, N4LQ, WA4LLR.
Okay, you're 20 over here, Dave, WA4LLR, N4LQ in Shelby, North Carolina, where it's 79 degrees and sunny. Got the grass cut yesterday, and it's lush and green and full of nice juicy weeds. So ready for summertime here. And washed all the pollen off the deck and all the pine tree, I call them dried worms, whatever those things are that fall off. There's a lot of things that fall off of pine trees. I seem to collect them here. So, good evening, John, KZ4B, N4LQ.
Okay, N4LQ in the group, KZ4 Bravo. Fine business, Steve. Booming in as usual. And Dave, you're really booming in tonight with the BC610C. Great sounding transmitter. The handle here is John. The QTH is the east side of Norman. On the Mooresville side, we're running a night kit, a T150 transmitter, driving a Ameritron AL1500, in turn feeding directly via a long run of coax, a inverted V, resonant on 80 meters on the other side of the house. And so that's the rundown here. And we have cut grass for the 10th or 11th time this season. It's just shooting out of the ground here. We've got an outfit that sprays, like I say, Jack and the Beanstalk chemicals that just make it grow like crazy, which is a nice change from the weeds that I used to cut. Although cut weeds look pretty good compared to uncut weeds. Quick comment, I bought a Telrad 18A crystal calibrator that's a pre-World War II item that the military used during the war. And there's a big article right up in Electric Radio on the number 166 March 2003 issue on that. And I've always wanted to play with one, and I found it at the Raleigh Ham Fest. The cord is missing, so I hope the transformer's good. We will see. But that only works if you've got a receiver that is calibrated at least to some limited degree. My HRO5s use those charts. There you need to cheat and use something like the Rig Expert AA-35 Zoom, which gives you a direct digital readout, because you will not know where you are. So I've kept it long enough for a first go-round. Mir, take it away. I believe it's your turn. WF2U in the group, KZ4B, over.
Roger, KZ4B on the net. This is WF2U. Good afternoon, everyone. It's nice afternoon. It's 82 degrees here with a little bit of a breeze, so it's just pleasant. And running the DX100B this afternoon, and receiving on the National NC300. The antenna is an end fed halfway for 80 meters, and signals are pretty good so far. I have reports for Dave. You are 20 to 25 over 9. Steve, you are fairly steady at 30 over. And John, you were between 25 to 30 also. And I'll give reports later to the rest of the group. So, pick it up, Brian. KN4R, this is WF2U.
No Jamie here, very good. WF2U and the Sunday old friends. This is Brian, KN4R, Cheryl's Ford. I'm actually operating remote today. I'm out here on my dock, right in the wind and the noise. We've got a lot of wind out here coming right up the lake. Flag not too far from me is straight out. So anyway, I'm about 200 feet from the house. I'm using, Wi-Fi. And I am cheating upstairs. I have my amplifier on, so I'm not just running 25 watts. So anyway, everybody's just booming in here, approaching 30 over. So Steve, W4IT, haven't heard you in a while. Take it away. This is KN4R.
Okay, KN4R. And the old friends net. Good evening, gentlemen. A pleasure as always. This is W4IT. Steve, the other Steve this evening. Steve in Grey Court, and I guess I should be signing Whiskey 4 Italy Tango Portable 4, since my normal QTH is Northern Florida, Fort White, Florida. We have come home for at least a week here and have done nothing but been outdoors, because other than the extremely high wind, which made it cool, I have been just cleaning up everywhere. And I've still got about 5 pickup truck loads of limbs and small shrubs I have cut down that I do not desire to have, that are some kind of an ancient shrub that back in the day folks used to plant around their house, and they're worse to cut with. Man alive, they propagate. Little tiny green leaf, and I can't seem to get rid of them. They're just nuisance. So we've been busy working, but enjoying the great outdoors, and wow, I'm definitely acclimated to the pollen and all the other stuff in the air here today and this week. And for the most part, for being outdoors and working, it's been great. A little hot yesterday and today, but we kind of wound it down today, being the Lord's Day, and there you go. So let me kick it on down to IUQ. I'm sorry, I don't remember the prefix. I want to say it's N4 IUQ, but I'm not sure. This is W4IT, Portable 4, Steve in Grey Court, South Carolina. Go ahead, old man.
Thank you very much, Steve. This is Mark, KG4IUQ in Shelby. I am on my Bandmaster Senior, the Harvey Wells, using the carbon microphone. My receiver is a multi-LMAC PMR8, and I'm using output power, just barefoot, 10 watt carrier with about 50 watt peak. I'm using an 80 meter dipole. It's been a good day. Had a day off of work. Been making some garden plots, having a good time, doing some yard work outside. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Chuck, N4IYQ, in the group. This is KG4IUQ.
Go ahead, Cliff. I think I'm in between them there. KG4IUQ. It's WB4NKL. I got stuck between the IUQ and the IYQ. That's kind of confusing. I'm Cliff, located in Limestone, Tennessee, and running a DX100B here today. and kind of windy here. Got 76 degrees, and I went for a hike there earlier in the Nolichucky River Gorge. It got about 8 miles in today, so it was beautiful day to be out, and it wasn't as windy there earlier as it is here now. It's had excellent weather while I was hiking, and I hiked up to met with some more hams that are camping out up there in the gorge. So enjoyable day. So send it on to Chuck. Go ahead, Chuck. N4 IYQ. WB4NKL.
Okie doke, WB4NKL and the old friends N4IYQ. Well, good afternoon all the way around. My weather station is showing 79, but the sensor is kind of under the deck in the shade, but I believe some of the heat of the deck gets it, so I'm sure it's more like Cliff's temperature. It has been quite breezy here today, but it's been a pretty day, and we've done a few things around the house and organized a little bit on the 2 shacks and tried to get a few things accomplished. Enjoyed the Raleigh Hamfest last weekend with Cliff and Mark, W4WWC. Got to see John, got to see K1VVC, got to see Brian, KN4R, Brown, and Mark, and I'm trying to think who else. Probably a couple others that I've missed. If I did, I apologize. But I always enjoy going to Hamfest and get to see the guys. Looking forward to the Greenville, Tennessee Hamfest this coming Saturday on the 20th. And I think it's the same date as the Greenville, South Carolina Hamfest. I think the Blue Ridge Club's having one in Greenville, South Carolina. That's the old Spartanburg Hamfest group. So hope they have a good turnout too. We'd like to make that one, but we're going to catch you one right here local and support that club. So on down to you, John. K1, VVC, and 4IYQ.
Yeah, very good, Chuck. Good to hear you on there. And likewise, it was a lot of fun seeing a lot of the old friends group at the Raleigh Hamfest. Enjoyed it thoroughly. And beautiful weather here also. It's been a very busy week. My daughter and her husband are visiting from Thailand, and I haven't seen her. First time she's been back in the United States in 2 years. So she's here for a couple of weeks, not staying with us, but visiting here in town. And my oldest son and his wife from Tennessee came in for a week, and just been kind of hectic. But it's been good hectic for a change. Other than that, today was kind of relaxing, and just did some work outside. I don't do any mowing or gardening, but I help my wife move a lot of plants onto the back porch. So, Glenn, I hope you had a good weekend. N4AK, K1VVC.
Okay, John, K1VVC. The old friends group, November 4 Alpha Kilo. I used to be in that, those that move plants in and out. Giant ferns. I don't know what it is about ladies and ferns, but anyway. So be it. I'm running my FC991 Alpha rig today upstairs in the attic room with an AL811H amp and about 150 watts to an end-fed inverted L antenna. I'm copying everybody well except Bruce was a little weak on his call-in, so maybe let him improve. But kind of enjoying hearing IUQ with his bandmaster on. I guess he's kind of probably the most antique-ish type rig on today. You were 5.9 here, by the way. And Chuck, you were running 15 over 9. Nice signal. Certainly nice to have Steve, W4IT, visiting back with us from South Carolina. And Brian, we could tell you on the deck. We could hear the wind hitting your microphone, so it must be kind of windy there. And my claim to fame today is I cut a little grass.
So, buddy, great to hear from you. What projects you got going? Any trains? WB4ARK, N4AK.
N4AK, WB4ARK. All right, well, nice day today. 84 degrees here, and very little cloud cover. Almost a perfectly blue sky. And we been working on a ARC-5 transmitter, trying to get it on the air, but I'm having a little problem with the antenna relay picking up. It's got an issue somewhere, probably a wiring problem or a relay contact in the modulator, but we'll get it figured out. So that's about all we got going on today. And so over to WN4PFI. This is WB4ARK.
WB4ARK. This is WN4PFI. Okay, buddy. I have a solid copy on everybody. Bruce, you are a little weak, but I'm copying everyone real well. Very strong signals here in Sedges, where it is 72 degrees. Been a pleasant day here in the North Georgia mountains. I'm on the DX60 and the Warrior amplifier. Got 250 watts on voice peaks. And the receiver is a National NC173. And the antenna is a flat top Federal open wire line at 40 feet. So I'll keep it moving on to Bruce. I hope you're copying me. You're the weakest station I got here today, but I'm still copying you. N4WD. This is WN4PFI.
N4WD, WA4LLR. Let me take a standby. Do we have any other stations that would like to join? Come now. All right, nothing heard. Good copy all the way around. Bruce, you are a little light with your 20 watts, but still copied you. Let's see. Dope, your DX60 always does a good job up here. Buddy, good luck getting the ARC-5 going. I think Cliff has motivated us. And Glenn, the 991A is doing fine. A good deal on mowing. John, glad you've got family visiting from Thailand and other places and having a family reunion down there. Chuck, shack organizing. Lord have mercy, I need to do that. Cliff, fine business on your 8-mile hike. I hope Brandon and Amy were doing well. And Mark, the Harvey Wells and the carbon mic sound good. They've got a lot of punch, coming in quite strong up here, and good deal on your garden plots. Steve, you're sounding good out of Gray Court. And Brian, great signal other than the wind noise. You can tell it's windy down there. Mir, thanks for the signal report, and the DX100B sounds good, and John, the 150 always sounds good, and Steve, you're always loud and clear, so everybody's doing well. Well, let's see here. Our solar report, sunspot number is 115, solar flux index is 161, and at the last observation, the K index was 1.8. They were forecasting a possible minor geomagnetic storm, but so far that hasn't materialized from the grazing impact of a couple of CMEs, but we'll see what happens. A few things on this day in history. On this day in 1865, Abraham Lincoln was shot. On this day in 2021, Bernie Madoff died in federal prison at age 82. He had the Ponzi scheme going. On this day in 2014, 275 girls were kidnapped from a boarding school by Boko Haram. On this day in 2003, researchers finished mapping the human genome. On this day in, where am I looking? Here we go. On this day in 1902, American businessman J.C. Penney opened his first dry goods store in Wyoming. And on this day in 1828, Noah Webster published an American Dictionary of the English Language. So we'll end it with that, and we'll start back around again. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, N4LQ. Very good. Good round of signals. Everybody's real strong, except for Bruce, whom I had trouble hearing. Anyway, Mark, I like the sound of that carbon mic. It's very carbonish, but I got to commend you for your tenacity on getting that TBS 50 going, and with a PMR8. That's pretty cool. And Brian sitting on the dock of the bay with the wind at his back. Boy, I tell you what. It's probably pretty close to 80 degrees. You just can't do any better than that. Anyway, got a question for the net, and this is a good one. Listen close. Where do you take a person that has been injured during a peekaboo contest? And the answer is ICU. Over to you, John. KZ4B, N4LQ.
Okay, N4LQ in the group, KZ4 Bravo. Fine business, Steve. Booming in as usual. I went for my usual daily walk today and got hot. And that makes me happy. I spent a year and a half in Saudi Arabia and loved it. So I'm not happy unless I'm hot. But I mean, this is the first day this season where I can honestly say I was warm. And that is so nice. I wish for many, many more. It will help with the outside activities, and of course it'll get hot and humid, and I'll start bitching probably, but I'd much rather cook than freeze. On that note, I'll be brief and pass it on over to Mir. WF2U in the group, KZ4B, over.
Hello, Mir. WF2U, WA4LLR. Well, he must have been called away. Go ahead and pick it up, Brian, and we'll get him next time.
Okay, Dave, very good. WF2U in the group, KN4R. Yep, it's very... I found this spot because I wanted to test and see how things would work if I only had like one bar of internet Wi-Fi. I've got two at the moment. Everything seems to be working just fine, and no delays. Well, I can't tell if there's any monitoring receiver, but Mark, IYQ, your TBS 50 sounds very, very nice, and I wouldn't try to make the audio sound any better because it sounds just like it is. So, anyway, one of the reasons why I was doing this, my wife has signed us up for a Rhine River cruise in October with our neighbors. And the funny thing is, they do not allow any ham radio. So I thought maybe I could do a little remoting when we're there. So anyway, Steve, back to you. We're glad you're back in South Carolina. W4IT and the group KN4R.
Yeah, KN4R, Ron and the net, W4IT Portable 4, here in marvelous Gray Court, South Carolina, about 30 miles southeast of Greenville, and we're running an Elenco DX 70PH, and of course, it's somewhat control carrier, and it's only a 100-watt rig, and probably, I don't know what it's running here. Yeah, we're modulating 17, 18 amp DC 12 volt current, or 13.8 volt supply here. So, to a pretty much horizontal 80-meter dipole here. And it's kind of running really southwest to northeast in pretty much free space. The trees aren't encroaching too much on it yet, but boy, they are growing around here. We had, as y'all know, a lot of rain here in this part of the country in the last 6 months, so my grass is doing great. Even the weeds are well, they're not really outperforming the grass by much, but we knocked them down this past Monday, and some of it's 2 or 3 inches higher than it was. So there you go. This is going to be my 73 round, guys. It's good to hear all y'all. I've got to pack it up and head to North Florida tomorrow. So. Occasionally, I've got a couple of 100 watts there with the rig there on a good old boat anchor, and so hopefully we can, when conditions are good, maybe check in, especially here on Sunday afternoons as of late, and possibly some of the 9 a.m. morning sessions for sure. Well, 73 everyone, it's great to hear everyone, and we're hanging in there and doing good, and it's good to hear some of you guys that I have sorely missed over the years, and hopefully I can start getting back up here more and more before I get to Florida acclimated, if you know what I mean. 73, good evening, and it's a pleasure as always on AM. 73. Mark, go ahead and pick it up, and yeah, you're doing good with that. I believe it's a carbon mic there with the Harvey Wells. So, and I'm copying everyone, but a few of them are alike. So much for the Japanese rice box here, the Elenco. Kilo Golf 4, India Uniform, Quebec. Mark, take it away. 73, y'all. This is W4IT Portable 4. I'm gone. 73.
Thank you very much, Steve. You're sounding good. This is Mark, KG4IUQ. I'd like to thank Doak, WN4PFI, for putting me in touch with Roy in Georgia. I appreciate it. Roy has given me some information. He's going to contact me soon, giving me Wayne's number. He says Wayne is expert on Harvey Wells. And Roy has told me to tell you, Doak, that he has talked to me about this, and I believe he's going to continue trying out the microphone that you have let him use. Thank you very much. Also, thank you, Steve, N4LQ, for the info that you wrote about in the email, telling me about how could be that this resistor that I have in this mic is really supposed to be in there. That's something that I've added in, and I have not found any solution to this dilemma other than very well may need to be in there. I know that there's some information in the Harvey Wells manual that talk about surplus handsets that are usable in this. At the time this thing came out, they talk about TS13, which lists a resistor in the handset if you look at the diagram. And I thank you very much. Appreciate it. Dave, LLR, you sound good with your BC610C. John, hope you enjoy cutting your grass. Sounds like it's growing well. Mayor, you sound good. Good copy here with your DX100B, I believe it is. And your National NC300 receiver. Brian, KN4R. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that you think this radio is sounding good. Steve, W4IT, I know that you've checked out, but if you're still listening, you're sounding good. And let's see here. Chuck, N4IYQ, or no, N4IYQ, you sounding good. And Cliff, you sounding good here. And John, K1ZVC, you have a visitor from Thailand, your daughter and your husband. That sounds like a good thing. You're sounding good. Glenn in your attic shack, N4AK, sounding good over here. Buddy, ARK, you sound good. And Duke, you're sounding good too. N4WD Bruce, you're a bit weak over here, but I'm copying some of what you're saying. I'm going to turn it over now. Better get this right this time. Going to turn it over to Cliff, WB4NKL in the group. This is KG4IUQ.
Okay, Mark, KG4IUQ, it's WB4NKL. Yeah, that Harvey Wells is doing a good job. It's got, like everybody says, got the carbon mic sound, but that's different. Good to hear every once in a while. I've got a TBS 50, I think it's the D model, that's got the preamp in it. I need to get a power supply wired up to it sometime, get it on the air, give it a try. But too many projects here, seems like. I'm going to go ahead and say 73's supper time is a-calling, and wife got in a little while ago, so I'd say she's got it on the table. So 73, thanks for calling it, Dave, and we'll try to catch everybody Tuesday. So go ahead, Chuck. N4IYQ, it's WB4NKL.
Okay, WB4NKL and the group N4IYQ. Well, good evening to you, Steve. Good evening to you, Cliff. You didn't mention what supper was going to be. You know, I'm not far away. But I'm proud of you doing the 8-mile hike. I figure you doubled up, so get some exercise in on my behalf. And everybody's signal's good. Struggling a little bit with Bruce, but got some of it. Certainly good to hear everybody. I neglected to mention we're on the multi-LMAC AF68A driving the SB221 and receiving on the PMR8. And like I say, the 6 o'clock time seems to work a whole lot better. I am going to do the same thing as Cliff. I'm going to sneak upstairs to get something to eat. Dave, the shacks are looking better, but I didn't realize how much dusting I needed to do. So don't start, 'cause if you do get the duster out, you'll need it. John, glad your daughter and husband are in, and I know you enjoyed getting to see your son and his wife from Tennessee also. And we'll say 73 till next Sunday, since we don't make the Tuesday and Thursday, because we still work part-time for Hampest money. Everybody have a great day. Dave, thanks for calling the net. K1VVC to pick it up and take it. N4IYQ sign. Good day.
Good day, Chuck, and nice talking with you. And Dave doing a great job in the net, and your signal is really coming in terrific. Everybody's coming in real well today, except Bruce is very weak here. And I forgot to mention I'm running the Johnson Viking 500 and receiving on an ITT Mackie 3010C receiver and using a dipole antenna. I also spent some of the day reworking all the switching for my coax and antennas in the shack here and simplifying it, which I did, and not only looks a lot better, but at least started working the first time I tried it. So with that, and Brian, you're coming through great, except for that wind noise. You need one of those noise-canceling microphones, I think. But it was good hearing you outside like that. And 4AK from K1BBC.
Okay, John, K1BBC in the group. November 4 Alpha Kilo. Birthday boy coming up this week is Charlie, I believe, according to my list. So that'll be on Tuesday morning. Whoever calls the net, we can remind to congratulate him. Buddy, all right on your Part 5 project. I had one of those units way back when, and somebody helped me convert it to 15 meters when I was a novice. So I guess I think I still got some 1625s. I believe that's what the final is. You might let us know. And Doak, you're sounding good with the DX6 and the Warrior amp, and I wonder when you're going to get your little WRL rig on the air. And Steve, okay on ICU. I thought you were going to make us guess, and I'm glad you didn't. And I appreciate you jogging my memory on this Windows memory thing. Well, I got a few strawberries in the back, just a few, and they're blooming, and I guess the birds will watch them as close as I am. So, buddy, to you, WB4ARK, November 4 Alpha Kilo.
N4AK, WB4ARK. Well, you know, you mentioned that ARC 5 unit, and I've had it for a number of years, and I didn't know who it belonged to until today. As a matter of fact, I needed a resistor in the base of the unit that is a wire wound resistor and 20 ohms, and it goes in series with the plate circuit. And so as I was putting the unit down, to take it back downstairs to its home in the basement, I noticed a tag on it, a sticker, and it said that for further information, see the, and I forget what year it was, but it was 1954 QST. And the call was written on there. It said N4A, and the best I could tell, it was a K. So I wonder about when you wrote that on there. I find it very interesting that I think you may have brought it to the luncheon or something, and to get rid of it, and I brought it home with me. So it looks like it's been converted. I mean, it looks like it. It has been converted, and it looks like probably 15 meters, but it doesn't have any tubes in it. Well, it had one tube in it, I think, or maybe it was a coil. plugged in the back where the octal pin sockets were, and it didn't have any 1625s or anything like that in it, but it had all the parts, and it was a very late model ARC 5. It was like 15,000 serial number, and there was, if you remember, they had 3 capacitors in the bottom. 2 of them were linked together by flexible coupling, and one was in between the 2. And this one capacitor was a brass capacitor. It was all brass, and I just wondered. I guess they had maybe changed their design or something, but the other 2 were regular, probably aluminum configuration, but certainly not brass. And the 2 that were linked together for the tuning, this one was used to connect to set everything up on frequency. So I thought that was very interesting. You might comment on that on the next go round. Well, it's been a nice day today. It's been quite warm here, but it's been breezy, so it hasn't been too bad. So with that, over to W4PFI. This is WB4ARK.
WB4ARK, buddy. This is WN4PFI. This is Doak, and I'm located in Suches, Georgia. My station is set up downstairs in our house here. It's they call it a one-level house with a basement, but I have my station here. My wife's down here. She has all of her sewing equipment down on the same level, so she's sitting over. She normally listens here on Sunday afternoons to the net. She's gotten to know most of you by name, voice. She's a quilter, so she's working on a quilt even today. Mark, I was glad to help you with making that contact with my friend Roy, N4TEX. He's over around the Dalton, Georgia area. And I think he told you about it. I took this to be a ham operator. His name was Wayne, but for some reason Roy could not remember his call. So I think he's going to get that back to you, so to help you out. He, as you said, he said Wayne was his go-to man for those Harvey wells. So he called him an expert in that particular rig. So I'm hopefully that's going to work out. Glenn, I have just started the last 2 days, spent some time on that Globe modulator. The Globe Chief I got from Buddy is, I replaced a capacitor in it, and I put 2 new finals, 807s. But the modulator, I finally found a chassis that I cleaned up and was able to use, and I've just started today laying out the components that's going to go in that modulator. I'm not as gifted as you guys, not as quick to recognize things, so I hope to have that thing ready in a few weeks and then put it on the air. I'm kind of excited about doing that. It took me a while to get all the components together, but I think I've got them all ready to go. So Glenn, I hope to have that thing on the air here pretty soon, and we'll see what kind of signal report, audio reports I can get from you guys. Hey Dave, I'm gonna make this my 73 here. And Bruce, I'm copying you just fine. You came up some on that last turn and is able to copy everything, so I'm copying just everybody here well today. It's not always what I can I can do here is copy everybody, but everybody's good, really good today. 73 is to everyone. I'll be around, hopefully be around next Sunday, and be able to hear from the rest of you guys. Hope you have a good, prosperous week. Over to you, Bruce. N4WD. This is WN4PFI. Be clear. Good afternoon, guys.
Okay, Bruce. Doak, I imagine Wayne, that's the go-to man on Harvey Wells, is WA4FTY. Or at least that's my guess. I could be wrong, but I know Wayne was Harvey Wells through and through. WA4FTY down in Lexington, South Carolina, I think. Anyway, let me take a quick standby. Any late check-ins? Come now.
Yeah, WFTU is finally back again.
Okay, Mayor, we'll go ahead and take one.
Roger. Okay. I didn't disappear. I was, after my transmission, I didn't get it to receive. Found that the TR relay, actually it's 3 relays in the DX100B. Jim K4DEE did some modifications and put 3 relays in it. I still haven't traced down where it goes, where they go. 3 separate relays inside, and something gets stuck, and then it didn't go into to receive. It didn't transfer the antenna. Something was stuck in there. So I had to scramble and recable everything to get on the Heathkit Cheyenne transmitter and the Heathkit Comanche receiver. And I had to do a quick tune-up and everything. So I'm okay. I was not electrocuted or something that I disappeared. So time to work on this DX100B and have to drag something else in here in its place and put it on the workbench. So anyway, 73 everybody. Have a good afternoon and a good week. I might be able to get on here on Tuesday morning. So take care, Dave, and thanks for running the net. And everybody has a pretty decent signal, so now I can give reports. WA4LLR, this is...
Okay, fine business, Mayor. Sounding good. And Doak, if you're still listening, good afternoon to your wife who's sitting there quilting. Alrighty, let's see. We've had Mayor sign out, Steve IT sign out, Cliff sign out, Chuck sign out, and Doak sign out. So we'll go ahead and do a 73 round. And Brian, fine business on getting ready for that Rhine River cruise. I've done that, but it's been many, many, many years ago. In fact, that was in around 1971, I think, that I did a Rhine River cruise. And Steve, sorry you're having to head to Florida tomorrow. We'll miss you. And Buddy, that's an interesting story about that Art 5 maybe making the rounds from Glenn's novice rig to you. Interesting. Okay, let's see here. John, you'll turn it over to Brian, and Brian, you'll give it to Mark. Mark, you'll give it to K1VVC, and Buddy, you'll give it over to N4WD. So we'll go ahead and do our 73 round. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
Yeah, WA4LLR, N4LQ. Very good. Enjoyed the net. Thanks everybody for checking in. And we'll go ahead and say 73s on this end. And turn it on over to John, KZ4B, N4LQ.
Okay, N4LQ in the group. This is KZ4B. Fine business there, Steve. Now that there's nobody left to talk to, I'll make my little speech about the MFJ TPC 150 ALC variable power output control black box. If you have a transceiver like my SR9T or an SR8T, and I don't know about I was gonna mention this to Steve before he got away, the T70, but a lot of amplifiers that Ameritron makes have a variable ALC control, which does the same thing, and that would be the AL572 with 4572Bs, or the AL811, 811H. I think the AL800, AL800H, all those have a variable ALC, so that if the transceiver feeding it or transmitter feeding it doesn't have a variable output, but it has an ALC input, you can just take the signal, the ALC signal or voltage from the amplifier and feed it back to the transceiver. But if you don't have one of those amplifiers, you need a TPC 150 like I'm using with my Titan 1 being driven by my SR9T. And if you get a TPC 150, as is always the case with mighty fine junk, it has some foibles. One foible is that it's supposed to have a built-in regulator, but it's best to feed it with a regulated 12-volt DC power supply. And a lot of these little switching power supplies that are 100 to 200 volts input have to be regulated, and there are others, and that's because if the line voltage drifts, the ALC voltage drifts and the setting doesn't stay where it should. The other thing is that the TPC 150, the cabinet, has a little cover. It's just a little aluminum box, and there's a screw on each side, and the screws are too long, and they invariably short the circuit board, which renders the unit useless, non-functioning. So you have to take your bench grinder and grind the screws back to where they just go into the cabinet, the minimum amount to for the threads to grip. So probably nobody cares about any of this, but this is the result of the School of Hard Knocks. And if you ever run across the need for one, you need to know this. And also the voltage, at least for an SR9T, is too high. That's being fed to the transceiver, so the range of the knob is super touchy. And so you put a shunt resistor across the pot, like a 1K where it's normally a 10K pot, and it knocks the voltage down and works quite nicely. But life is so hard, and then you die. But anyway, and if you forget all this and you ever get a TPC 150 or need it, give me a call, and I'll be glad to discuss it as it is burned into my memory. So, how's that for a brief final transmission? Brian, take it away. KN4R in the group, and thanks for calling the net, Dave. KZ4B clear.
Okay, John, very good. KZ4B and the old friend, Brian, KN4R, returning. Well, I'm out here in the wind, and the sun has gone down behind the house, so I'm going to head in here shortly. But John, thank you so much for your all the comments about the TPC 150. Very, very interesting. Dave, thanks for calling the net, and I'm gonna send you an email, and we can chat about the Rhine River. So anyway, I hope everybody has a wonderful evening and a good start to next week. Cliff, keep up that walking. I'm miles behind you. So 73, and Mark, take it away. KG4IUQ in the group, KN4R.
This is KG4IUQ. Thank you very much, Brian. It's been a good net. I hope everybody has a good evening. I'm going to turn it over now to John, K1VVC. This is KG4IUQ.
K1VVC, John, are you with us, or have you gone to supper? I think John has gone to eat. How about it, Glenn, N4AK, WA4LR?
Yeah, hanging in here to the very last. And John, I appreciate you bringing in those little hints and kinks about equipment. It'll save somebody a lot of time. Buddy, the ARC-5, yeah, at some point in time it possibly might. I had a wild hair to get rid of some of that stuff, you know, and I probably brought it to a luncheon or something, I don't know. But anyway, good luck. And Dope, looking forward to hearing that Globe Chief on the air with a modulator that you're home brewing. Dave, thank you very much for calling the net for us this afternoon. It's been a pleasure. WB4ARK and 4AK saying 7-3.
Okay, Glenn. N4AK, WB4ARK. Well, I just about got the problem solved. I found out there was a wire in the wrong place on one of the sockets. So, got that done. The relay is working. So we'll give it a try on Tuesday and see how it works. I'm getting about 20 watts out on AM, about 65 to 70 watts out on CW. So with that, I'll say 73 and turn it over to N4WD. This is WB4ARK, and thanks for doing the net.
Bruce, you in there, N4WD, WA4LR?
He's talking to... He's done.
Okay, I have completely lost Bruce. Alrighty, gentlemen. I've enjoyed it this afternoon. I appreciate all that have checked in. A lot of good comments, a lot of good sounding radios. So 7-3, God bless. Have a great rest of the weekend, and Lord willing, we will pick you up on Tuesday. This is WA4LLR, Dave in Burnsville.